to the Double Stuff podcast. We're black and white and hurt all over. And once you see our pictures on social media, you will understand what that means.
Oh, I think they've seen it.
Yeah, that's true.
And if not, be prepared to be extremely surprised.
No surprise to anyone.
We're so original.
We are.
So today we are discussing dreams. Now, today's topic is only in fun, so I want to start off with a disclaimer saying we're not doctors, psychiatrists, spirit guides,
Certainly
wizards,
not.
Yeah.
anything
Well,
like
maybe
that.
a wizard.
Yeah, well, Dan might be a wizard. I don't know.
Are you?
That's true.
An audio
You're
wizard.
a wizard, Dan.
No,
That's good. That's good.
Hey, let's do it. I'll give him a little pointy black hat and.
That's a witch.
No,
No, that could be like
that's
Harry
a
Potter.
wizard.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
when they're
okay.
in their formal attire.
In a formal a formal wizard thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
with a tuxedo and a bow tie.
That's
That's
right.
right.
You know, swinging the cane.
A cane? You mean
Yeah, you know.
like an old
He's
man?
I don't know. All of a sudden, I was thinking.
Wait, did I
what's the
become
song?
like a '60s pimp, or am I still a wizard?
No, I
I
was
don't know.
thinking that '80s
You're
like.
a 60s pimp who's dressed up as a wizard for
Yeah,
Halloween.
whatever.
Is that '60s? Am I thinking that right? Like Starsky and Hutch, or
It's
is that
probably
more
more
'70s?
'70s,
Probably
like
more
like
70s.
Superfly.
We
That's
need,
right.
we need
Yeah.
someone in here that's older than us to confirm what kind of a pimp a 60s pimp and a 70s pimp is.
I'll ask my dad because
Because he knows why.
Yeah,
he was alive
do you
during
have experience?
Full
Say, sorry,
disclaimer.
Dad.
Sorry,
Well,
sorry,
maybe we
Mr.
should
Harmon.
edit this out. Yeah.
Sorry, Mr. Harmon. I'll vouch for you. You are not a pimp.
no, he's not.
Oh, Lord. No, hopefully my parents don't ever listen to
Oh,
this.
they're listening.
Oh, they
They'll-
most
they'll
Can
certainly
we
find
just
will.
put this on the record that Sarah Harmon said this? Charity Harmon is innocent.
Let's pull the emergency brake right now.
I'm pretty sure
Get
your
back
parents are
online.
number 1 and number 2 fans. So.
That's true.
All right.
Our big listeners.
Yeah, so back to the topic at hand. So these topics are pretty extensive. I tried to keep it sort of lighthearted because there's some weird books out there.
Yeah.
But I paraphrased some stuff from both of the books. If anyone is interested, the two books that I used are The Dream Bible, The Definitive Guide to Over 300 Dream Symbols by Brenda Mallon, and 1,000 Dreams, Discover the Meaning of Dream Symbols, Secrets, and Stories by David Fontana. So if
Okay.
anyone is really interested to know where the heck I got all this stuff from,
Full blame it on
that's
them.
it. But
We're going to have links below.
I can provide.
Okay,
Yeah.
links below.
Yes.
Links in the doobly-doo.
But I picked out some keywords from each person's dream, and we're going to start with Dan. So, Dan, tell us a little bit about your dream. And it
All
seems
right.
like you've got a little bit to
Yeah,
say.
so I want to preface this really quick, but I do not remember dreams. This is like the most challenging thing we've come up with when it comes to topics
And
because
we
I had
just
to
got
wake
started
up.
with
I
the
know,
series.
I know,
and this,
isn't that
and this
sad?
is the hardest
It
thing.
really
we've
is. It's
thought
all
of.
downhill from here. Maybe it's downhill. Downhill seems easy, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
hope so.
okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Downhill.
you'll fall quicker than going upwards.
So I didn't remember one, and I remembered one because it had an actual I don't know, I just woke up and it just kind of stuck with me. Okay, so what it was me and a bunch of superheroes, but not Marvel superheroes or not DC superheroes or not even any superheroes, just people with superpowers of a made up superhero genre or whatever that I
Your
have.
invisible
Like
friend.
a
They
Robert
were all just-
Rodriguez
yeah, exactly.
superhero film.
Everybody was running a 5K. Now, if you know me, if you see me, I'm not a runner. I've never ran a day in my life.
But you aspired to be in your
Not
dreams.
even a little bit.
Nope, okay.
No, not even. I don't even know why. My wife's ran 5Ks before, and it looks exhausting to me. And that kind of comes to the point. So everybody was running the 5K. Superheroes were running the 5K, which seems like it might be interesting, visually, right? No, everybody was just running. I don't even know what their superpowers were. I just knew in my head that they were superheroes. So everybody was running the 5K, and we ran it. And I think I didn't even finish the 5K, and I woke up and I was like, I'm exhausted. I needed
Are you
just
tired? You were sleeping.
dreaming about running made me tired. I needed to go get an energy drink or maybe a protein shake or something.
Did you wake
afterward.
up at some fast heart rate and beads of sweat?
That's
on your
exactly,
face?
yeah, basically. I mean,
Oh,
that's what it felt like.
seriously?
Well, it felt like. I mean, I don't know if it was fast heart rate or anything like that, and I just sweat
I feel like we
generally.
need to
But
talk to your wife and see if you were kicking her in her
I
sleep
know,
or
right?
running in place.
it was the wildest thing, and that's why I wrote it down, because I was like, hey, I actually remember this because I feel like going and taking a nap after I woke up.
Wow.
Or getting the banana first and then going to take a nap.
Banana.
It's got to
So-
prevent those
Cramps.
sleep cramps.
That's
from
exactly
when
right.
You're running in
So,
your sleep.
so that was my dream. That's the long and short of it. Superheroes, 5K, and I am wickedly out of shape even in my wildest dreams.
It's nice to know you aspire high, even
That's
in your
exactly
dreams.
right.
Okay.
So for Dan's keywords, which were very hard because it wasn't a very lengthy dream, so I used running, go figure. So this means that you could be running towards a goal and can suggest a growing impatience to reach a desired goal. So if there's something you're trying to get towards maybe starting a podcast.
Hey, that might be
Ooh,
it.
new goal.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Absolutely.
Your second keyword was sports. So sports is just a game with winners and losers and a formal set of rules that can represent our progress through life, especially when involved in a form of competition like the workplace. So we all happen to be coworkers. Are we all competing against each other? Are you trying to like
I don't think
get
so.
ahead of the game?
Absolutely.
No. Yeah. Alan's got his own plans,
That's
it sounds
right.
like.
Yeah. Alan has
And
this.
I am desperately wanting to win.
Well, I did used to do production like you guys did. I mean,
Yeah.
so maybe, but no, I'm happy where I'm at. I get to sit back there and watch TV all day, so I'm good.
what a riveting
Not trying
life
to
this
move
is.
on.
No complaints from Dan. I'm going to
No
stay
complaints.
right.
I like how the talking about the running thing, because usually with typical dreams, like, or at least I have a lot of dreams where you run fast, but you don't
right.
go anywhere. Like
Right.
you're trying,
Running in
like you're being
place.
chased, by somebody.
And you wonder why you can't run. Like,
Yeah.
why am I going so slow?
like, and you feel yourself like you
Right.
think you're asserting, and you're only going like you're
Yes.
running in molasses.
Yeah.
But see,
Or,
that would
you
only
know-
happen if Dan had like villains in it. He didn't even have villains. It was just superheroes going for a run.
Maybe
That's
you
true.
were
They
the
could have
villain.
been. There could have been some supervillains in there. I don't recall.
So
at this
undercover.
point, but,
So you
they
need to
could
go
have
back
been,
to
yeah.
sleep
No, they
and
were,
have part two.
they were
That's exactly
they were
right.
so undercover. They didn't even use their powers to do the 5K. They
That's
decided to
what the
walk.
wildest
trying to
thing
blend
was.
That's right.
You
I
can't
wanna
blend
say-
in when you're wearing a cape.
I want to say that it transitioned. Like I want to say that there was something more with superheroes, and then that transitioned into a 5K. I don't know why. I honestly don't.
It
but-
sounds like a cinematic story that just fell flat. Like the potential's there, like, ooh, we can make a series out of this. Like, what happened? I woke up, and it's like,
That's
okay, well, so
exactly
much
what
for
it-
our franchise.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, it wasn't even
It's
like
gonna be a
wacky
hard sell.
racers, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Just a run.
Get some Dastardly and Muttley in there, right? And
Exactly,
just kind of
yeah.
just start, at least make it interesting. But I do admire. I do like, were you wearing a cape of some sort? Were you a superhero?
I
Did
think
you
it
run?
was
I don't
just
think
Dan.
so. I think it was
Just
just
Dan,
me.
like
I was
always.
just me. Yeah, I was like the Jimmy Olsen of my own dream. Yeah.
Well, I guess that's why we call him Just Dan. Even his dreams are
dreams.
Just Dan.
That's true.
Your last keyword, though, I used both legs and feet because I couldn't find literally anything else in there. So
Good. I'm glad I made this really easy.
I know, right? Legs represent your foundation and whether or not you are strong and well supported, or if you don't have a leg to stand on. They can urge you forward in life, such as a relationship or career. So going back to the career thing, and then feet could possibly mean that you're getting cold feet about a project, or you're losing your enthusiasm on a current project, or that you want to get your foot in the door and be accepted on a new venture.
Interesting.
That
So
sounded-
yours is
that-
very career driven.
That sounded
Absolutely.
way too deep for what you just told
That
us.
does sound way too.
Did I
deep,
give you
that's
too much
true.
credit?
No,
Did
no,
I-
no. I'll take the credit. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
No.
Take it.
I mean, might as well, right?
Yeah.
So you feel
Take what
good,
you can get.
feel good by the end of the
That's
day.
right.
So apparently, I'm career driven and or want to get out of the career that I'm in.
Yeah,
Is that
so
basically
you're
what it
just
is?
a paradox. You
Perfect.
don't know what you want. in
I
life.
love it.
Yeah, he was like,
I think that's normal though.
Absolutely.
yeah, that's not,
Because it's very hard to
yeah.
be content in kind of where you are. Like
Yeah.
you're always aspiring to do more.
Well, sometimes. I mean, it's wild because, we work with we work with two people who have been at this place for 38 years.
Yeah, gosh.
And they
Longer
don't seem-
than we've all been alive.
And I don't think either of them really want to move up or do more. You know what I'm saying? Like they're
They're
just
already
boop,
set.
perfect.
Well,
right there.
and I think that's a danger too. I know I
Yeah.
feel it where I'm just what am I gonna do? This
Yeah.
is me.
Well,
That's it.
But then you have the other spectrum, because both both me and Charity have been in situations where we haven't worked long enough in certain situations to even be that way, and then that's doubly frustrating because we haven't
Sure.
been able to be in some place stable just because of how the jobs go.
Yeah.
Well,
You know?
we're made to advance. I mean, you go to preschool, then you go to kindergarten, and first, you go
I
all the
think
way
that's
through
it.
college.
I think
Yeah.
that's it.
And
Right.
so it's hard when, unless you do grad school or move up in business, and you're like, so am I advancing? Am I in the right
Right.
spot?
Yeah, you don't know. You don't
Yeah.
know if you've plateaued or
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's
you
a
know.
weird spot to be in.
Oh, a lot
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
people are in that. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Dan, for giving us that serious
I know.
retrospective on ourselves.
That 10-second dream got
I'm
us in
exhausted
deep
after
Thank
that.
you for
shit.
letting me
I know
share.
why you were exhausted.
Yeah, goodness, I gotta check my pulse.
Yeah, I
Goodness.
know, right?
Well, Alan, before you go and take
Oh.
your nap from exhaustion, it's
Okay.
your turn. So you had something to say about the White House in your dream,
Okay,
correct?
so my oldest daughter has this thing where she asks, "Daddy, what did you dream last night?" And most times I don't remember, But if she catches me early enough to where the dream's still kind of
Still
rattling around in there,
Yeah.
I think I can tell her what it was. So the one that I clearly remember was telling her about how, for some reason, and I don't know why, but I'm in the White House. And I need to get into a room in the White House. And there's a safe. There's like a digital keypad safe. And I need to know how to get into the safe. And then suddenly I'm thinking, I don't know why I can do this, but I say, why am I in the White House? Alan, you have no business in the White House. I'm in a dream. And then I was like, well, if I'm in a dream, I can make up the combination. And so I just, on the keypad, hit 1, 2, 3, 4, and then click, open the door, and it opened up. And I have no idea what was in the safe. I think that was the end of the dream. I just clicked it and then opened it, and that was the end of the dream. Because I don't know what was in it.
There's no
and what
entrance
happened
to Narnia or anything like
but I remember my daughter being astonished by, you just made up the combination. I'm like, I just made up the combination. I just did that. And I don't know why, but for some reason that gave me a lot of satisfaction in being able to impress my daughter in my dream.
You're her hero
Absolutely.
now. Like that just, you're standing there in a cape.
I hope so.
Getting ready
really
to run
hard.
a 5K with
Yeah,
Dan.
to say with Dan, yeah.
I feel like your dream went from like National Treasure 3, maybe,
Because I love those
like you were like
movies.
Nicolas Cage or whatever,
Even-
and then all of a sudden
Oh,
it
yeah.
became Pulp Fiction, where like you got the safe
okay,
open,
that-
and it just like
yeah.
glowed, and then it was
Oh,
just
it
like
could
nothing,
be.
you never know.
I don't remember. There wasn't a light.
Right,
there,
right.
there was no
no.
soul
Sure.
inside or anything like that. But it wasn't a Raiders of the Lost Ark moment.
I'm gonna say yes, sort of
But,
Indiana Jones style.
but yeah, I
Melvin.
do enjoy those movies, even if they are really cheesy.
I love
like
Nicolas Cage. I love
yeah.
those National Treasure movies.
Even when you can figure out and like each step is easily solved by we need Benjamin Franklin's like glasses to be able to decipher whatever this is. I'm like, of course you did, and of course you found it, and of course it worked.
It makes
I love
it makes
that
sneaking
stuff.
into national buildings look so easy.
Oh, of
like,
course.
like
Yeah.
we can do this
Yeah.
tomorrow. Like double stuff is
Absolutely.
Yeah.
going to Washington D.C.
Yeah, we are. Especially when the combination is 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, and you know what? The surprising thing is, I bet there's a lot of combinations that are 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. The password is password.
Well,
Right,
once Big Brother
exactly.
hears this podcast, they're going to change all the
That's
combinations.
true.
So we're not going
Yeah.
to be able to break in as
Somebody, Secret Service is like, how did he know?
I
They're
know.
probably
How
like
did he know?
4, 3,
We have
2,
to
1.
I know.
get
Try to
Switch it
guess
back.
that.
Yeah,
4,
try
3, 2,
that.
1.
Yeah, because they wouldn't guess counting down.
That's right. Yeah.
I watch Sesame Street. I know how to count.
That's true. Sesame Street and National Intelligence. We just start doing some kind of
That's right.
surveillance. Yeah.
Big Bird breaks in.
I do like, because every once in a while I do have dreams where I do realize halfway through, oh, okay, I am in a dream. It's kind of
Yeah.
interesting how the mind works.
See, I
though.
never
Yeah.
realized I'm dreaming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's been a
Never.
few. There's always in situations where like I'm trapped or I'm about to be kidnapped,
And it's ridiculous,
and I know,
right?
I'm like,
You're in danger.
oh,
Yeah.
I can kick this guy's butt because I'm dreaming this.
There you go. Yeah.
It's sort of like lucid dreaming.
I do that.
Like we talked about last time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
only I can't. This is like one of the few times where I realized I was in a dream and I acted on it and was able to just like
Yeah.
manipulate the dream into my favor.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, then, were you able to find anything on manipulating
yeah.
dreams specifically? Or?
Not manipulating dreams. The only general information I know, Sarah had mentioned dreaming in black and white, so they discussed colors and then reoccurring dreams. But yeah, I didn't see anything about like manipulating. But I only used a couple books. I
Sure.
didn't dive too deep into it. But for Alan's keywords, since he had 1, 2, 3, 4 as his combination, I used the numbers as your keyword. So
Okay.
1 can represent the source of life, or it can literally take the representation of oneself.
Okay.
And it's associated with harmony and union in a family or group, which is good because you've got a wife and 2 daughters. But
Right.
negative can also show that it carries an opposition to diversity. So you prefer to conform to the same thing.
I do only because it's easier.
Yeah.
I recognize like imbalances in systems, but sometimes I just for the sake of making my own life easier, because it's complicated as it is, why
true.
take on an extra task in correcting something, which is so cowardly, probably. Anyway,
At least
let's
you're able
move
to
on.
admit it. Okay, so we'll forget the cowardly moments. Number 2, it's a number of duality and balance and represents relationships and coming together. So you have like a big family theme going on
I
in your
do.
dreams here. And I like the quote that they put in the book. It says, 2 is a dialogue rather than a monologue. The negative aspect, though, is it suggests the ambiguity of meaning and presence of doubt. So are you very doubtful in your decisions? And
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I have this thing in between my ears that is constantly doubting everything. Yeah.
Which is normal. For
There's
anybody.
always some hesitancy when you're doing certain things. I mean, who really? Well, I'm sure people do, but just 100% immediately after you think of it, you just dive into it.
Oh, yeah.
Because that almost shows a lack of.
That's reckless behavior,
Yeah,
really.
that seems reckless. So
I do a lot of Socratic kind of dialogue, like just why, and then
Yeah.
and just keep asking,
then again, that would lead to overthinking, which we're all really good at.
Oh, of course.
Like, and then you start
To a
thinking too
detriment,
much,
yeah.
and then you don't do it at all, or maybe it's not as good.
It's always
Or like
at a
I
time where
say,
you're
I'm
supposed
like,
to be doing
okay,
something else.
so now I have something, and it's probably going to be too hard. I don't want to invest the time.
Yeah.
I'm done with that. Yeah.
And that about sums it up. But
Okay.
and that's Alan in a nutshell.
Well, going on to number 3, though, Pythagoras called 3 the perfect number, and it represents the threefold natures of humankind of body, mind, and spirit. And it can also represent like the Trinity, so you see all that stuff in like, stories and history. The negative is that it's the textbook complication of a relationship of 2's company and 3's a crowd.
Oh god.
But you've got 4, so
Yeah.
you have 1 extra, which makes a
know.
nice family element there.
I do.
Which
I
works
live in
out
a-
for the fourth number, which is 4. Right?
Yes, and 4 represents harmony and stability on which the world depends. So
There
you've
you
got
go.
the 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall, winter, north, south, east, and west, and then elements: earth, air, fire, and water.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
Yeah, well, and then it works out because you do have, you have a family of 4, which works out harmoniously, right, according to the text. So.
That
So you
is
have the
the goal.
perfect
That
family.
is the daily goal. Sometimes the hourly goal is to create a harmonious union in my household.
I like it. I don't think I say the harmonious goal is to keep a family of 4. Like,
No, I think I got that down. That doesn't worry me. We're in it together for
Yeah.
the long haul. However, just to keep that harmony going is, but that's normal.
And you're outnumbered too. You're the only guy in the house.
I am, but
even are your pets female?
yes.
No, that's like our family.
Which is
All
like
of our
our family.
pets are
Yes,
female
that's
too.
true.
Yeah, so
I
you
think
and my dad have something
even
in common.
our beta fish were girls.
Yeah, because they ate the other fish.
They did.
Yeah.
Just like a woman eating other people.
Wow.
For the record, once again, that came from Sarah Harmon.
Yeah. Sorry, Mrs. Harmon.
Oh, you thought I was referring to her? There you go, assuming again. We need to analyze that one for there. All right.
All right, so my dream, this seems kind of typical for me. So my dream, I think, came from a book that I read. So this was called The Beekeeper's Apprentice. It's a story about this girl who becomes Sherlock Holmes's new partner after Holmes is a little bit older and he's sort of retired from London or whatever. And so I think she's 15 when she meets him. And then like she kind of grows up and stuff and she continues. Anyway, it's a series of books. And so I read that. So in this dream, I was Sherlock's partner, and I don't think I was playing the role of Dr. Watson or this girl in the book named Mary Russell. I wasn't playing her. I think I just happened to be his partner for whatever reason. So I was on my way to 221B Baker Street, and I came across this little blonde orphan girl. So did you guys see Les Mis that came out a couple years ago? The little blonde Cosette,
I've
like
only
the picture.
seen. I can't do Les Mis. It's such a sad
I know,
story.
it is sad, but you've
that
seen the posters, though.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I'm sure it was
it's
absolutely
in the
wonderful.
title. It's in the title.
I know exactly.
It's just like Death of a Salesman.
Yeah.
Ooh, what happens?
It just always I don't. It's unfathomable for me to like when people say. I absolutely loved Les Mis or something like. I'm like,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Did you
It
guys?
was
You
made
heard
very
and saw
well.
the story.
Like
Yeah.
the movie
Exactly,
was
yeah.
good. I think that's what they mean.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
I'm
and
sure.
it's a good one timer. I probably won't ever watch it again because I don't want to be miserable.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
good
absolutely.
point.
or Les Miserable.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hopefully my French teacher doesn't hear this. I'll say it correctly.
And for the record, that was Alan.
Yes. We apologize to France.
Oh yeah, sorry. Sorry, friends.
I didn't know we had a French
And all French
national here.
speakers. Yeah.
Dude, this podcast is going all over the
right.
world.
Yeah, except for France in case they block us. Yeah.
Anyway, yes.
Anyway, the girl that I found, the little blonde orphan girl, looked like Cosette from Les Mis. And so she wanted me to help her find her parents. And so I had told her, I was like, well, Holmes doesn't usually handle cases like that. He likes the more high profile stuff. But I was like, apparently I'm a softie in my dreams. I was like, come on to B Baker Street. We'll find your parents. So anyway, I'm at Baker Street waiting for Holmes to come back, and I'm waiting, and this Indian guy comes to the door, and he's dropping off some evidence for Holmes's new case that whatever he's working on that I haven't found out yet. And so I'm like, sure, bring it on in, and it happens to be an elephant. So this guy brings this elephant.
What?
I know, that was my reaction as well. So perfect reaction. So he brings this elephant like right into his living room, and it's just like, okay, bye. I'm like, no, wait, you can't just leave this elephant here. So he just goes down the street,
ignoring the elephant in the room.
Yeah, and so
there's an elephant in the room.
Like literally an elephant in the room. But yeah, so I was confused. Mrs. Hudson was not happy because who wants to clean up after an elephant,
Sure.
The girl loved it, obviously. So anyway, I leave the little orphan girl with the elephant to take care of it because apparently that's what I do with children in my dream. Yeah. I leave them with wild animals and hope for the best.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah, of course.
But in the end, we end up solving the mystery. The elephant led us to this traveling circus where the little girl's parents happen to be a part of. They're trapeze artists and stuff. And so we, go undercover, we sneak in or whatever, and we end up finding the girl's parents. Oh. We are able to return the elephant so we don't have it in our living room. And then, we kind of all live happily ever after. So basically, I help Sherlock Holmes solve a case in my dream.
That actually sounds like a very good premise for a child's story.
It's like Sherlock Holmes meets Dumbo meets Dr. Dolittle.
It was like, sort of, yeah.
Yeah, it's that weird piece of whimsy. Like, it's very cinematic.
So my keywords were child, elephant, and book. So child represents a sense of vulnerability or a playful side to our nature that we don't often express, and it shows a yearning to start fresh in life after taking a wrong turn.
I love it.
And I think I do that just about every day because I make so many mistakes. And I'm like, oh, good. Yeah. It's a new day. Let's forget what I did the day before because nobody wants to relive that.
Sure.
Elephant was my other keyword, and elephants usually symbolize strength, peace, and faithfulness and happiness. And then, although wild, an elephant is an animal that can be tamed, which I kind of don't like. So I'm kind of in favor of the circus is getting rid of the elephant stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm team get rid of the elephants because I've seen the videos, and I'm like, why would you do that to an animal? You know? And elephants are like the sweetest animals. Like watching those PBS specials, like if an elephant dies, they mourn over their loved ones and stuff. Like. They're just like the sweetest things. I just want to hug an elephant if I ever meet one day.
Also, an elephant never forgets, according to the phrase.
And they're also known for their long memories, but it could be a placement of an old memory that I need to let go of. So if I'm carrying baggage in my life, that could symbolize that. Elephants also symbolize wisdom from an older generation, so I could need to seek advice from someone older than me to learn something from them. And then my last keyword was books. So that obviously represents wisdom, intellect, and a search for continuous knowledge, especially if the library is seen in your dream because it's an abundance of books. It can also represent the actions of you being an open book, free and willing to discuss ideas, which is sort of what we're doing here with the podcast.
Ooh, what a nice, well-rounded
I know. I was like, that was a perfect dream I had. That was just a couple weeks ago.
It also helped that you had a complete story.
Yeah.
Like Alan's, like ours,
I know.
They just stopped.
That's true.
Yours is like beginning, middle, and end.
I think
the only thing was missing was a roll of credits, right?
Yeah.
I know,
Driven by
some Danny Elfman composition
I woke up right before the credits rolled, but that's the day that you came into my room to give me that cotton candy. Remember
was
that?
it?
I just finished that
maybe
dream.
You smelled the cotton candy. And
oh my god!
Oh, is that what did it?
Maybe.
Did I trigger a dream?
You made me dream about an elephant in Sherlock Holmes.
I have to ask: is this a common occurrence where you wake up and she brings you cotton candy in the morning?
It's like a Pavlov thing. Wait, it's time for my 6 a.m.
It wasn't unnatural at all. It was just like, and then I had my cotton.
And then I had my snack.
Of course,
I always have a snack.
I have to have Strini sugar in the morning, or else I just cannot function.
What are you doing with cotton candy in the morning? I never associate morning AM with cotton candy.
Here's the funny thing. I don't know.
Is this still part of the dream?
Actually, yes. Who would have thought? No, the cotton candy was just some random thing that was in the discount section at Dillon's.
Okay.
So I'm not even worth the $2 of the real cotton candy.
No, you were worth 19 cents.
See, what I was thinking is you had a cotton candy machine, and it was like you were an Amish person, right? You woke up in the morning.
That would have been a whole lot more
o'clock,
interesting.
You got the big drum, and you're like getting your cotton candy ready to go
He
for
gave
the
you
day.
like an occupation.
Yeah,
You're a little
absolutely.
cotton candy lady of the town.
Be like,
The cotton candy lady.
got your cotton candy this morning? Oh, thank you.
Coming
You
in
know I
the-
can't function without it.
Coming and knocking on the door. Have you had your cotton candy, sir?
Apparently, Sarah has an accent when she's doing
I
her
have that
cotton
wasn't even an
candy.
accent. I think that was just
That's how you sell stuff, right?
Cotton do, sir.
it's like some old. I can't even say that's British. I don't know what accent
That's
that
just
is.
ridiculous. Some weird Monty Python stuff. All right,
It is.
so
Oh.
funny enough that I had a dream about a circus and elephants or whatever. It kind of leads into Sarah's carnival dream. So you want to dive into that?
Yes, I will preface this by saying this used to be a recurring dream of mine. I used to have the same exact dream from when I was about 14 to my mid-20s. So I used to have this dream at least once or twice a year for 10 plus years.
Do we need to put a disclaimer? Is this about to get scary?
It is interesting.
Okay.
It's probably scary if you're dreaming it.
It's-
Probably not now.
Okay.
Yeah,
and hearing
it's,
it.
but yeah. So anyway, I've had this dream since I was a teenager until my mid-20s. So it took place in Indiana, where we used to live, and I think it was like a Saturday morning, and my mom was taking a few of my school and church friends. We were going to go to a carnival in the downtown area, so we all hopped up into the van, and she drove us downtown. She dropped us off. We were about to go into the carnival, and some nondescript guy was like, "Hey, why don't you come into this cool little warehouse-looking building here?"
Stranger danger.
Exactly. And then I didn't know I was dreaming, but in my mind I was like, no, we're not supposed to go in there. It's a random warehouse, and the carnival is that way. The warehouse is the other direction. But everybody else is going that way, so somehow I found myself going towards that warehouse. So we go into the warehouse, the door closes behind us and disappears.
Ooh.
So we're in this warehouse, and it looks like a bunch of obstacle courses, and but like dangerous stuff. You know, there's a lot of jagged edges and
Saws on the wall.
Well, I don't know if there were saws on the wall, but there were definitely very sharp edges of stuff and boiling liquids behind.
vats?
And vats, and there was a big bird cage, like human-sized bird cage, and that
With the skeleton.
no skeleton. You know, I'm trying to remember. I don't think there was a skeleton, but it's weird.
But
like
you knew
human-sized
what it
bird
was
cage.
for.
That would be
Yeah.
the scariest thing for
Yeah.
me because
Yeah.
that means there's a bird that size. I do not like birds,
Oh.
and I'm sure we'll learn
that's
this
Your
later
mind
in
would go
podcast.
to birds?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't like birds. Like
Sherry
the
does
birds, like
have a thing
the
with-
Hitchcock film where like the lady's
birds?
getting attacked with birds.
yeah.
Oh my gosh! Like
Yeah.
no, I did. I like the flapping sound. I can't handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
Trinity
is
has this
overwhelming.
thing, and like robins just freak her out for some
Ooh,
reason.
okay, yeah. Let's move on.
Yeah,
Dream.
yeah, get back to my scary dreams. So I'm talking about birds.
I know.
So the only way we could get out of this warehouse was to go through these series of obstacle courses, whatever, just trying to avoid all these different traps, and we're having to swing from different places and, propel from different places. And then, I guess the guy that, brought us in, I'm assuming he's probably looking down in some, observatory, looking down at us, trying to, one of those kind of things. Anyway, we do go through all those series of traps and all. Anyway, we make it through the other side of the warehouse through a horizontal door, not a vertical door. Horizontal door, or an opening that opens up, and then we all roll out. And then the door disappears behind us, and then we're kind of back where we started, and the carnival is still going. So, sigh of relief for all of us after that horrible thing that happened. So we're about to do the carnival thing. All of a sudden, my mom zooms or, pulls up really fast. She's like, hurry up, get in. I had assumed that she saw everything, even though I'm not quite sure how she did, to get away from the warehouse guy. No, turns out there was a giant tornado that was forming right behind us.
Oh.
So we all get into the car. We are zooming, trying to get away from this tornado that is literally forming directly behind us. We're trying to outdrive this tornado. And right as the tornado is about to suck us up, I wake up.
Oh, see, I thought you said Helen Hunt was going to show up.
So close, so close.
That's
with
part
the
2 of
Dorothy
the
2,
dream.
That's part
the
2.
Dorothy 1.
But here's the thing.
We got to get these sensors up there.
I've had that same reoccurring dream for 10 plus years. Every time I wake up from that dream, it's always time to get up and go to school, or it's time to get up and go to work. So
Sort
it
of
either
impending doom.
So it either lasts the whole time I'm sleeping, or it just happens right when I'm about to get up and do something, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
And it's always been like that. Now, funny enough, I haven't had that dream for about 5 or 6 years.
Interesting.
Unless
yeah.
the tornado showed when we were moving to Kansas. And so since you've moved to Kansas, then
But see, that's the weird thing because I used to have this dream before I knew we were moving to Kansas. This is what we had when I was still in high school.
Do you think affectionately for like Wizard of Oz and things like that, or?
Well, she likes classic films.
I do like classic films, but I don't know if I was at that time. Even though I enjoyed a lot of old movies, I was really late in watching The Wizard of Oz. I really didn't. That really didn't. At least maybe that was a subconscious thing, but that didn't really come to mind.
You didn't miss
when I
any
was.
of that.
What are you talking about? I love Wizard of Oz. Really?
Well, fight.
No, that'll be a next topic because
flip
one
this
of the
table.
things I'm looking forward to talking about is classic films, and then
Yeah.
he's not going to be a part of it because he already has a bit of hate.
No, I love classic films.
You are
Oh, okay,
excellent.
just The
No, I
Wizard
love
of
classic-
Oz.
I
She just
hate
kicked
Wizard
you
of Oz.
out. You
I
know.
did.
I know. I
He's
was like,
gone. He
cue the
is
sad Hulk music. I'm gonna go walk away.
If it's not Orson Welles, it's nothing.
That's right.
We'll use that for the next topic.
Well, Sarah, for your dream, I know
Yes,
you said
analyze me.
Yeah, so reoccurring dreams they said they're very common and it reveals patterns in your lives and can help us become aware of what hinders or motivates us.
A tornado would definitely hinder things.
that would motivate you
Hindrance,
to
yeah.
run at least. But
Yeah.
so one of your keywords was stranger, which I found it interesting that in all of the keywords in both of the books about strangers, it never really said anything about them being dangerous. Like they welcomed strangers in a dream. So it's the foreign and the unknown, and it can bring new ways of looking at the world, and it can help bring diversity into your life.
Oh.
So whatever that means. I mean,
I was like,
the stranger
that's kind of
obviously brought you guys into a weird place, but he didn't like chase you or beat you or anything. But
No, but I mean, still being lured into a.
Yeah,
yeah.
it sounds like you read some pretty optimistic dream books.
Yeah.
They're like
I
strangers.
guess
strangers are
I
fine.
picked
Yeah, you're
the
totally
first
fine.
two and
Get in the car.
lighthearted stuff like that.
I always think of things in terms of movies. So as you're talking, I'm thinking, oh, Pennywise from It.
Yeah.
And then we get
Oh,
into Saw
gosh.
territory.
Yeah.
And then we turn around and go into Twister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, it did kind of. Yeah.
Which would be an interesting film lineup.
Absolutely.
I'd
It
sit
would.
down for it.
Your next keyword, I used walls because since your door disappeared, you didn't have a door. So
Yeah.
you're just surrounded by whatever walls are in there. So
Yeah,
walls,
brick wall.
whether real or emotional, can imprison or protect. So it's both good and bad. So although we may insulate ourselves from hurt by building these walls, we can also cut ourselves off from many good experiences. And then your last one was storm because you had the tornado at the end. Storms may represent the discharge of pent-up emotions that get out of control and cause havoc. And they also indicate a wish to force things through to a definite conclusion or to shake things up for the mere sake of making a change.
Well, shake things up is probably the most literal term for a tornado.
But the pent-up emotions, I found that interesting as someone who watched you grow up and go to school. You know, you didn't have a chance to express your emotions.
Yes, I am pretty good at not showing emotion, or I'm like a pressure cooker, and I don't necessarily show it. I hide it for a while, kind of pat it down, but after a while,
Sort of volcano eruption.
yeah. And when that happens, watch out. Now, not that it's like, "Ugh," but
Not you
keep a
won't like
razor
me
in
when
my
I'm
boot.
angry.
well, it's not like I know.
cut you so bad.
Watch out, guys. It's gonna be one of those podcasts. No, but it's just the fact that when you kind of get to that enough is enough kind of thing. So it's not like you're just going to completely just erupt, if that's the right word to use. But after a while, you find you're in a situation where you have to say something. Like there was a situation a couple of years ago. There was a guy that me and Chetty were with. We were doing an event, and he was just being an idiot, complete, total, stupid idiot, and he would not shut up. And that whole weekend, he was being a pain. And finally, I had enough. I told him to sit down, shut up. Sit down, shut up, don't say anything. I said it so loud, the room echoed.
So I got a little scared there. I mean, I feel like if I wasn't already sitting down, I said anymore.
Yeah.
You just
So-
sink lower into your chair.
So,
Which is funny because normally I'm the one that does that.
does
And
that,
like
yeah.
I'll sometimes hold up my emotions, but I'm very more vocal. So like if you make me angry just a little bit, I'll snap at you. Sarah, she'll go for like months, and you're like, oh, everything's fine, just keep swimming, and all of a sudden a shark comes and like bites your head off.
Oh, just out of the depths, out
This
of
is
the
good
dark
to know.
depths.
So one time
What
in
is
the
that
future,
shadow? Oh!
It's good to know. So sometime in the future, if Sarah gets on the mic and she's like, "Welcome to the Single Stuff podcast," they're all gone.
Yeah, this is just me from
Just
now
me
on.
and
took
my
them all
microphone.
Yeah, remember we were talking about the beta fish earlier?
Yeah.
I said it was other women, but it was just me.
Not just her. I represent.
I am beta fish.
And that, I think, is a good end to our podcast.
Very
Our
good.
hashtag I am beta fish.
Yeah.
If anyone has a beta fish story, please share.
Yes, please. Make that a trend. I am beta fish.
Hashtag.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's time for us to sign off. Guys,
right.
the dreams were good. They were fun.
It was.
It
Dan,
was.
you need to work on your dreams a little bit more
I
if
do,
you have
I
your
really
part
do.
two.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
pretty weak
at least
sauce.
put a villain in your next one.
I'll try.
Yeah.
I'll do my
Okay.
best.
Yeah, let's sleep on this. Yeah.
Okay. And good night, everyone. Thanks for tuning in today. For more fun, follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Double Stuffed Podcast and on Twitter at Double Stuffed P. That's the letter P.